right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to go through Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners. I want to do our weekly update. So this is going to be all the Bitcoin miners activity for last week. The week ended 4/28. Okay, so as always, the first chart we'll look at is week over week. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna notice is Bitcoin is in gold. It was up 8%. So this is where Bitcoin was when the equity markets closed on Friday. If you enjoy this content, please remember to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. So just for perspective, Bitcoin was at around $29,300. You're gonna see a giant section in the middle here where a lot of these were very, very close to zero. So this was an extremely sideways week for a lot of the Bitcoin miners. We'll talk about the outliers, but you see from Cypher, we had a 2%, CleanSpark 1%, Iris Energy 1%, DMG unchanged, Hive unchanged, Stronghold unchanged, Mawson unchanged, and Argo Blockchain down 1%. So, a considerable amount of these really did not move at all this week. So that's highly unusual. So it's just noteworthy. We did have two in the red, but one was down just 1%, so basically flat on the week. Really, the only underperformer this week was GREE, stock ticker GREE, Greenidge. They were down 16% on the week, so that was the lowest performer. You're going to see they're a lagging performer on the year as well. Then we had several of these that did just about what Bitcoin did, sixes and sevens, versus Bitcoin's 8%. So DigiHost, Any, Core Scientific, and HUT were all up 6 or 7%. Then we did have a bunch of Bitcoin miners that actually beat Bitcoin. And typically that is what we expect. Leverage to the upside, leverage to the downsides. Really what we would have been hoping is for some type of, 16 to 24% move to the upside on these Bitcoin miners on the week. So this does represent a little bit underperformance for everybody other than Wolf, stock ticker WULF, TeraWolf. They were up 23%. So, that pretty much got its 3-to-1 leverage on Bitcoin. So that had a very healthy week, and it's continued its very, very strong run over the last 5 or 6 weeks. Okay, so then in second and third, you're going to see Riot and Marathon at 14% and 13%. They're the largest and second largest by market cap out of all the Bitcoin mining companies. So once again, those outperformed Bitcoin. They've been doing well this year, particularly Riot. We had Bitfarms, which also outperformed Bitcoin, and it got its 10 days to get back into compliance with the NASDAQ over $1. So Bitfarms was up 12%, BitDigital was up 11%. So that's what went on for the week. Let's take a look year to date. So like I said, 4/28 was the last trading day really of the month of April for the equities. So this year is now 1/3 over. So let's take a look at what all the Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin have done in the first 1/3 of 2023. As an aside, YouTube revenue is way down. So if you would like to support the channel and help me keep doing this every day, you can become a member by hitting the join button on the YouTube page. It's right next to the subscribe button. Membership is only $5 a month, and you get a bunch of extra content for that. We have several videos already ready and waiting for you that are for members only. We have a members-only Discord that I'm active on a daily basis. In addition to that, we do a members-only live stream every Tuesday after the market closes. So we hope to see you there. Thank you so much to all of our existing members, and welcome to those of you who are joining the channel right now. Okay, so this is year to date. You're going to see a lot of phenomenal performance so far this year. There are a few that are lagging behind. We'll talk about those, but I want to start at the top of this list. The first thing to notice is every single Bitcoin miner is up so far this year to date. So it does vary. At the low end, 32% up. At the high end, 413% up. So you can see there have been winners and losers, if you will, inside of this group so far in the first third of the year. So let's talk about some of the leaders. Core Scientific is up 413% year to date. So that is more than any of the other Bitcoin miners. Having said that, they are still down on the magnitude of 98 or 99%. They are in Chapter 11, so I have a hard time judging what's going on with that stock. Clearly, it is a good stock for traders, for swing traders. They're up 413% on the year, but where we go from here, I'm not quite sure. Okay, DigiHost is up 378% on the year. Again, remember, we're only through, this was the end of the 4th month of the year. 378% move to the upside for DigiHost. Cypher, which is the 3rd largest Bitcoin miner by market cap, is up 313% year to date. So these are huge moves to the upside. Then we have Riot, which is the largest Bitcoin miner by market cap, is up 253% year to date. BitDigital's up 230%, Iris Energy's up 220%, Marathon's up 194%, so that's still almost a triple in just the first 3 months of the year. So all the ones we just discussed either tripled, quadrupled, or quintupled so far this year. So you can see these 3x, 4x, 5x moves. I always try to reiterate, these things are real. They do happen. They've already happened for a lot of these. Depending on the direction Bitcoin goes, we could get a lot more of this. So if we go to the other extreme, you're going to see Argo blockchain is only up 32% this year. So for me, I have said several times in recent weeks, I'm concerned about Argo. Not necessarily that they're going out of business. I'm just not sure where they're going from here. So I think their stock reflects that. Again, not financial advice. You guys got to do your own due diligence and decide which of these stocks you find opportunities in. I put these charts together because each one of them tells a little piece of the story. What I get looking at these charts is sometimes questions pop out. So I try and take those questions and answer them looking through other charts or diving deeper. So the question here would be, Argo blockchain is only up 32%. Is that based on their actual performance and that's what they deserve to be up? Or are they lagging behind the group because they just haven't had their turn yet? So that's how I try to look at these things. Now, for me, in the case of Argo blockchain, I'm not real excited about them. But those are the types of exceptions I'm looking for. And really, any up 63%, that is Sphere 3D, that is underperforming Bitcoin on the year. And that's one for me personally, I have added to my position. So rounding it out, Green and DMG blockchain are both underperforming Bitcoin at 70% and 73%. Then you've got CleanSpark, still not quite yet double for the year. So I will tell you, in my opinion, their monthly operational reports have been outstanding. I do think there's a lot of room left for them to run. So that's one of my high conviction plays. You guys please do your own due diligence and make your own decisions. So you can see everything from there is up at least 100%. Stronghold's up 106%, Hut 111, Hive 126, and Mawson 128. So even those in that group I would consider underperforming versus their peers. So all of those are in that question mark zone. Is there an opportunity among all of those, right? Because they haven't done the 3x, 4x, 5x thing yet. So is there a hidden one in there that's just lagging behind and it's going to get its turn? So that's what I'm looking for when I look at this chart in specific. This is the comparison for each one of these stocks of their February highs versus where they ended the month. Bitcoin from their February high is up 16%. So one of these obviously jumps way out at us. TeraWulf's up 136% versus just a 16% move on Bitcoin. So that was one of the ones that had been lagging behind in the other charts that we just talked about. So that is another position that I have added to earlier this year, and we've discussed on the channel at great length. So that's why I look at these charts. You know, in this instance, TeraWulf did take the big run that we thought it was going to. And then very, very strong performance from Riot. So Riot is up 54% higher than it was over its February highs. So that is the second best. Those two are in the lead by far. Riot has been extremely healthy all year long. Marathon, you're going to see, is in third place, and it's tied with Bitcoin at 16%. And personally, in my opinion, I think Marathon may have some room to run. But again, please do your own due diligence. These are just the way I look at these charts. You guys got to interpret these for yourself. Here we see again Riot and Marathon, the largest and the second largest Bitcoin miner by far. And we will take a look at market cap in a few minutes. So you're going to see there's nobody close to these two. And they're two of the three best performers, you know, over the last 75 days as well. Then you've got the other extreme. You've got GREE down 53% and Argo blockchain down 55%. So those are my two lowest conviction stocks. I've been talking about that all year this year. So far, that's how it's been playing out. So no guarantee that that's how it's going to play out in the future. But right now, these are lagging way behind. And there's a lot of other miners that really over the last 75 days have not really moved very well along with Bitcoin. While Bitcoin's up 16% in that time, you're going to see most of these are between 20 and 30% down. Bitfarms is now scratching its way towards zero. It's still down 6% on the year. DigiHost down 8% on the year. Mawson down 13%. Any, which is Sphere 3D, down 13%. And again, this is off of their highs from February until right now. So several of these companies have passed their February high. But you'll see even these that are in the green right here, these four are lagging behind Bitcoin, and really they should be leveraged plays to the upside. When I look at this chart, I do think there's a lot of room left to run on a lot of these stocks if Bitcoin can continue its bull run. Now, we're going to have to see how this week plays out. This week may be different than last week, but I do think over the next month or months, we are going to see continued moves to the upside for Bitcoin. I am very bullish on Bitcoin. Okay, very quickly, this is by market cap. So this is just going to show you, remember we talked about Riot and Marathon. They are by far the largest market cap stocks. Riot is just under $2 billion market cap. Marathon's at $1.68 billion. So the next closest one, in third place, a distant third place, is Cypher at $574 million. So, that's about a third of the size of Marathon. The one thing worth noting is a number above the company name and a number below. So that's this week's position and last week's position. The top 10 are still the top 10. There was just a little bit of shuffling around. 1, 2, 3, and 4 remain the same. TeraWulf moved from 7th up to 5th, so that had a big move. And then Hive went from 6th down to 8th. So that did move down a little, and that was mostly a function of some of the others just passing them up. Iris Energy remained at 9, and Bit Digital remained at 10. You will see Core Scientific just on the outside at $144 million market cap. So that is one that could break into this top 10 at some point sooner than later. Okay, the last one, just for reference purposes, I've had this requested to bring this chart back. Each one of the Bitcoin miners hit a high in November of 2021 when Bitcoin hit its all-time high at $69,000. So even though we have seen some of these that have tripled or quadrupled or even quintupled this year, Core Scientific's the one that's pulled a 5x and it's still down 97%. Bree is still down 99%. Stronghold's down 97%. Mawson is down 97%. TeraWulf is down 96%. Now they are starting to really ramp up their operations. Some of these I will tell you to be careful with. As we saw, Core Scientific's in Chapter 11, Mawson, Stronghold, and Gree all had to pretty radically change their business models in order just to stay in business and survive. So some of this, there's some reasons for these being this far oversold. So it would not be fair to assume that these are all going to return to their all-time highs. I do think there will be winners on this list that ultimately end up breaking their all-time highs, and there will be losers on this list that never get back anywhere near their all-time highs. So this is just another way to look at things. I've tried to break this down in as many different ways as I possibly can, so hopefully these charts were of some help. That's what happened over the week last week. That's what's happened over the year so far, year to date. If you made it this far, thanks so much for watching, and please remember to subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, and hit the notification bell so that you never miss a video. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.